Five and five. Are you looking at the camera?
I am.
Okay.
We ready?
Wait.
Oh, we're up. Hey! Happy Monday. Happy New Year. It's great to be with all of you. I wanted to thank you. Today has been incredibly busy. I've been on the phone talking with you from the moment I got up until right now. It's been wonderful. I really appreciate all the support, all the feedback, all the interest. You're getting the message out to people, and it's continuing to grow. So Happy New Year. Our hearts go out for those who are fighting the COVID, including Christine included. These little movements, these little breathing movements help to clear the fluid out of the lungs. And many of you know that I went through the same thing, and I had to clear it. How's that? Is that working, Brooklyn? We're hope that you can hear me all right. We're using a new device. It's our first time using it, but breathing in and out, just if you can only do it shallow. The shallow movement helps to break up the fluid so we can get it out of the lungs. Deeper breathing when you get stronger, and for those that watch me recover, I had the pneumonia, I had the fever as well, but now it's 99% better. So it's I feel good, and I want all of you to feel good too, and to have a stronger, healthier immune system. So what we're going to be talking about tonight, I'm going to share a little bit about why Cellercise. We're going to share some questions that people have. We're going to read some customer reviews, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the products that we have to help support you. Now, with typical exercise, and many of you know this, we've been taught that we lift weight away from gravity. We target certain muscle groups of gravity. That increase of weight causes the cells of our body to fortify their membranes with more protein. They don't care if we're lifting weight away from gravity or we're increasing the weight of gravity. To the cell, as we apply that weight over and over, the cell responds by fortifying its membrane with more protein, which makes it stronger and more resistant to viruses as well. So as we're moving up and down, since it's weight bearing, it's on the entire body, every muscle, bone, connective tissue, ligament, tendon, skin, collagen, protein, fibers, the fascia throughout the entire body. That's what makes it so effective. It doesn't take as long. In 10 minutes a day, you can flex every single muscle in your entire body with an increase of weight on it over 100 times a minute. And my routine is 10 minutes a day. It always has been. My kids have all grown up doing it. They understand it. They've watched their dad do it. This is real. If you have questions, we encourage you to write them in. But there are specific movements we do on the Cellerciser so that we can focus on the knees, the hips, the back, the shoulders, the stomach, the thighs, the buttocks, the natural facelift, opening up the bronchial tubes and lungs, great exercise. Resistance movements by altering the angle of our body in different positions while we're moving can focus on different muscle groups. But even though we're focusing on those muscle groups, the entire body collectively is still working. The movement up and down on the Cellerciser helps to open up circulation through the entire body. It activates the lymphatic system. It helps backflush valves. It helps increase oxygen blood flow to the brain. So all those benefits are included with the Cellercise program, but we eliminate up to 7/8 of the ballistic impact or jar compared to typical aerobic activities. When you're hitting a hard surface, out weaknesses in the body. I've worked with a lot of people, quite a few, who did the Zumba programs, and the constant movement in the hips was wearing out. That's not what exercise is supposed to be. When you can play in, let's make it fun. Let's make it enjoyable. We've got over 30 pre-made exercise routines that you can do, and our kids are doing it almost virtually every night. I use it. It's fun, and the whole premise is, why work out? And you know, why work out when you can play in? Let's make it fun, easy, efficient, convenient, economical, safe, and we can also make it portable. So I never leave home without it. All right, so let's go over some of the questions. It says, let's read some customer reviews first. All right, this comes from Kathy. This came December. It's embarrassing to say, but the last 17 years exercise was not in my vocabulary. So when I discovered that Dave and the Cellerciser, I got hopeful that I could get my physical health back. With all that said, I had to start slow with the simple start of the baby health balance. My results have already begun to show. We have great days ahead. No more dizzy room spinning when I lay down. And I think I've mentioned before, we've had numerous people, many, including my wife, who had vertigo. And within a month of Cellercising, they were able to enjoy activities they didn't know that they could enjoy anymore without those symptoms or conditions. Energy returned. My ability to balance and do routines is awesome. Now I am following Dave's weekly routines that he made. Love his style of coaching and information he gives. Thank you. My husband and I are truly grateful for this simple exercise help to support our healthy aging lifestyle. I want to comment on that a little bit. It's never too late. You know, we have people that are starting in their 70s, 80s, and 90s. Lots of them. Four generations in their family that are Cellercising. Their granddaughter sent me a picture of their grandmother at age 95 who was running in place, doing jumping jacks. I've got the pictures, and she said that it totally changed her quality of life, improved her vision as well. And this she's attributing to Cellercise. I'm not making medical claims. I can say Cellercise can be different for everybody, but it stands to reason that when your cells are stronger, healthier, and working more efficiently, that your body parts and functions will be also. So again, balance, equilibrium improves dramatically. This is kind of a crash course for those who are not real familiar with Cellercise. Balance has little or nothing to do with age. Nobody is born with it. It is a physiological function. We can improve people's balance at virtually any age when we start to challenge it again. And the movement up and down challenges vestibular balance, challenges proprioceptors, our nervous system. As our balance improves, our activity improves, we feel younger and enjoy a better quality of life. Okay, Marie writes, since I've started Cellercising, my tinnitus has gone way down. How's that figure? Moving up and down, moving fluid past the stirrup, the smallest bone of our ear, but it's increasing circulation. Who knows? That's how we promote health and healing. My muscles are stronger and longer, and I am more positive in my outlook on life. And I want to thank you, Marie. And you've heard me explain this. We want to appreciate and be grateful for everything that is around us and within us. We're not fighting against the problem. We're promoting the solution. There's a difference. And when we're not fighting against that which is wrong, but promoting that which is right, our focus, our energy, if we get if you're not willing to bring happiness along with you in the course of your journey, you'll never have it once you reach your destination. So it sits above my desk. But if you're not willing to bring happiness along the way, you will not have it at the end of your journey. So let's have and develop and promote greater happiness, joy. Every time we're on the Cellerciser, oh, hey, it was a success. I've been on the Cellerciser today. The moving up and down got rid of the stress, the tension, opened up circulation, challenged balance mechanisms. There's so many benefits to it. The Cellerciser is the real deal, and it truly does offer the benefits that Dave Hall talks about. My husband has a low-functioning gallbladder, and it will at times cause him much discomfort. Every morning he gets up and bounces for 15 minutes. This morning his gallbladder was causing him much discomfort, yet he decided to bounce. Exclamation points. And his varicose veins are not as prominent. You're pumping circulation with the heart. So even though it's strengthening the heart, it's also making it easier on the heart to get this exercise and to get the circulation. And so I've worked with a number of cardiologists and people also working with their doctors, because Cellercise is one of the few exercises that they can do that is not. I am at times, I will sneeze and pee just a little, and sorry for the TM. I have been bouncing faithfully since I joined the I Jump Instead Patreon, which has been since the end of August. Results. Maria. Thank you, Maria. Thank you for sharing that. And thanks to Stephanie and Sally for all your work and help with people who are enjoying the benefits of Cellercise too. And for your support.
Someone is wondering if you're completely recovered.
Yes, I'm completely recovered. Everything. I feel great. I honestly, I don't feel any symptoms at all now. There were things that I did. I just did couple sessions with my daughter last night, back to back on the Cellerciser. Really, I got going really intense again. I'm like, wow, I feel great. Yeah, the answer is yes. You can make a full recovery. It's possible to do that, and I'm hopeful that everybody will be able to do that. Again, we don't have all the answers to this, but we can target certain areas of the body, the liver, the kidneys, break up sticky blood cells by moving up and down, very important. I had the fevers and I had the chills and I got pains in different areas of the body, but they're all gone. I'll do the gentle twist now, and I did that through the course of the program because I didn't want blood clots. I wanted to make sure that we maintain good circulation. That was my choice. That's what I wanted to do, so that I believe that the white blood cells would have a better opportunity to move around without blockages, getting after and destroying the foreign invaders, and hopefully getting strong enough so that if we have another bout with it, they're going to respond more effectively, and hopefully it'll die out. Okay, so
someone has a broken ankle. They're wondering what they can do on the Cellerciser.
Oh, a wife with a broken ankle wants to know what to do on the Cellerciser. This is what I did. It had been able to do. the doctors became my customers. One of the techniques that I did is, and you may have heard this story, I was supposed to be at the University of Guam 2 weeks after I broke my ankle. And they wanted to put it in a cast. And I said, I can't do that. And because I'm going to be in Guam and on the other side of the world. And they said, well, you put it in a boot. So I went to Guam, miserable trip, because yeah, it hurt. But I think it was the following week, the week after I'd just broken it, because it was right after. And I'm hopping around on stage demonstrating Cellercise. Well, from close to the very beginning, once I had the boot on, I would hold my ankle over the side and I would gently bounce up and down. The movement up and down helped to increase the circulation. Very gentle, check with your doctor, but the movement up and down, depending on, because I don't know how bad the break is. Mine was a fracture. It broke in 2 places. That helped reduce the inflammation, the swelling, and give what the body needed to help become strong. Now, doctors know, and you've heard me say it many times, bones and muscles heal faster and can grow stronger when exposed to some stress. That's the idea behind the water. The healing, which in my case happened so quickly, it caught the attention of the doctors and they became my customers. So that's what I did.
Any exercises to target snoring, sleep apnea, and acid reflux?
To target what? Snoring, sleep apnea, and acid reflux. Well, we've heard stories from customer reviews that the snoring improves. And this is kind of interesting. The little palate up in the back of the mouth, it can fall, it can drop, and that can help block the airway and cause this snoring effect. When we're Cellercising, it's weight bearing. Now, when a muscle, we don't put weight on a muscle, it's going to sag, it's going to drop. Internal organs, for most people, because they're not bouncing up and down, they stop putting weight on the internal organs, the connective tissue surrounding them gets weaker and everything drops. And you've heard me again say, a lady wrote me a beautiful testimonial. She said, David, as I was hitting midlife, I felt like everything was headed south. Now that I've been Cellercising, I feel like everything's headed north. In the muscles and within the skin itself, protein fibers. As we're applying weight over and over, the body becomes more resistant to the weight. And Cellerciser has been effective in helping that. As a reflex, the sphincter muscle, we don't have documentation on it, but the sphincter muscle, how do you strengthen that? And that helps to protect, your digestion, elimination, and the acids from coming back up. And Cellercise is weight bearing. It's weight bearing on the sphincter muscles in the digestive area, as well as in the lower. Of sphincter muscles, and they're all throughout the body. Cellercise is weight bearing. If you can strengthen a sphincter muscle, you're targeting everything. Stands to reason. But let me know.
Are older bars compatible with newer rebounders?
Yes, the older balance. Convert it into a streamlined balance bar. You don't have to buy a whole new bar. You can simply buy the top piece. And that will turn your existing half-pole balance bar, which is low, it's about this wide, it will turn it into streamline balance bar, I didn't realize how to travel with in the trifold carrying case, because it's easier, fits easier, more affordable. And then I started using it, and when I was doing it for the demonstrations at Facebook Live down in my office, I showed you, many of you, how to put the balance bar together and how to put it on the unit, and I left it there. Anyway, that's available for those who might be interested. Any other questions? Come in.
Will jumping help to shrink a thyroid goiter?
Good question. We don't know, but we do know it stimulates the thyroid. Because everything, we have a lady who wrote me a customer review saying how she was taking Synthroid, and she cut her medication in half when she started using the Cellerciser, because if you want to see how much of a dynamic is being applied on your internal organs, stand on the Cellerciser, hold on to your deltoid, just grab your shoulder muscles, squeeze the muscle, and then bounce up and down. It's no small amount. It's quite a bit. People don't realize how effective Cellercise really is in applying both weight and weightlessness and circulation to all tissue.
For hip joint pain?
Hip joint pain. On the DVD, Cellercise, the Ultimate Exercise, I have a section on hips. And we can start off with, we target the hips and the supporting muscles, ligaments around the hips. We always start gently with the baby bounce. That's an excellent movement. Spreading the feet apart and rocking side to side. Now, you have to, this is important. You have to, if the unit is too soft, then it causes pronation. That can lead to hip problems and knee problems. So this is a Cellerciser. It's different than typical rebounders that use bungee cords or springs that are not of the same kind or quality steel that we use on. Pump circulation. Into your hip bone, and you will feel a huge dynamic in those muscles. As we gently twist, we start to loosen up the whole joint area while we're pumping circulation up and down through the tissue. The gentle twisting helps to force that circulation between the joints. And we can target different areas of the body with special movements on the Cellerciser. We do that. Anything else? Appreciate the questions. Very good. Okay. Case writes, love my Cellerciser. We've had it for almost 15 years, and it gets better and better. I only wish I have the Trifold Pro so we could travel with it. Thank you for creating such a great quality product. Listen, if you end up wanting to get a Trifold and you already have one, you're part of the Cellercise family. So just let my office know, because we can give you, a little discount once you have a unit. Okay, that's it. Oh no. Okay, one more. Hi Dave. This comes from Jennifer. I set this aside because I wanted to answer these questions. She says, I've had my Cellerciser for a few months now, and I'm absolutely loving it. I had a couple questions that I hope you could answer. I saw a video where you had some folks on stage and you had them hold their arms out and you were able to make all of them tip over by pressing on their arms. But after they jumped on the Cellerciser, they were suddenly able to resist. What was that? That is absolutely real. That is a strength and balance test. It's not, some people call it kinesiology. It's strength and balance, literal strength and balance. When you're moving up and down on the Cellerciser, you're challenging vestibular balance, but you are also getting rid of the imbalances in the body. As you are weightless and then you have weight, it's the same on the right and left hemisphere of your entire muscular skeletal system. So people that are play golf, they get golfer's back, or tennis, Cellercise, or baseball. Cellercise helps to balance out those muscles, especially as we're moving up and down and doing the gentle twist. But the strength and balance test, there's so much going on with Cellercise. You're weightless, weight, weightless, weight. You're getting rid of the blockages in the energy flow and communication with the body. You're challenging the fascia. But you can through Cellercise. So as you get rid of the imbalances and you create the strength in the body, you are much stronger. You can lift more weight. If you want to have a great yoga experience, Cellercise first. If you're good in martial arts and you want to do better and be better, and I've worked with a number of martial artists, some of them 7th degree black belts. That's rare. At least that's what they said. And they were very good. It's going to give you more strength and more balance so that you can use your techniques more effectively. What other exercise out there is going to challenge the body in a totally balanced state? It has resistance. It has a pumping action. It helps that energy circulation flow through the entire body without those blockages. And when we are getting ready to go to sleep at night, and I've shared this, but this is the beginning of the year, so it's worth sharing again. There are people out there that have a hard time sleeping. We get on the Cellerciser, put our fingertips straight down, gently move up and down, relax the shoulders, back, buttocks. Just feel. Don't fall off. But that movement, we do the same thing with babies when they're fussy. And it gets rid of the stress and tension. The baby can relax. Well, most of you are too big to be put over somebody's shoulder. But you can get on a Cellerciser and
go up during your COVID?
oh yeah, it sure did. 6 on the low when I was wrestling, which is good for me. But yeah, it was quite high. I watched that carefully. I watched my oxygen levels, which they were in the 80s. Now they're back to normal again. In fact, I think I'm a little better than I was before in some areas as far as the resting heartbeat and whatnot. So yeah, it's you can come through it. You can.
Exercises for a pregnant woman, 3 months.
I might as well be talking to my daughter. Jenna, many of you know Jenna from, if you go to the website, you can talk to her. She's pregnant. She just sent me some pictures of the baby today. It's very exciting. This is her 3rd. And she is Cellercised through her entire pregnancy. And you can ask her about it. Her mom did too. And gentle movement. Again, I don't know your health condition, so it can be considered a medical question, so consult with your doctor or health practitioner. But if you've been active prior to pregnancy, generally you can be active while you're pregnant. I wouldn't do any real high jumping. It's not needed anyway. But jogging, doing, to help with circulation and weight, gentle twisting, very gentle. It helps move fluid circulation, oxygen, nutrients to the baby. Again, rocking side to side. my wife lie down on the Cellerciser. So we took all the vertical pressure off her back and internal organs, and we would lay her down, put a towel or a little pillow behind her head, put her feet up on a chair so her back was completely flat, and I gently bounced her up and down. She loved it. So this gentle movement up and down. I demonstrate this on the DVD, and then a gentle rocking side to side. I think mom and baby both appreciated that. Anything else?
I recently ordered the trampoline demo Cellercise the Ultimate Exercise, but I see there's also a trampoline instructional download for Don't Exercise Cellercise. Do we need both, or does the Ultimate Exercise video cover what is in the Don't Exercise Cellercise?
Yeah, they're different. Cellercise the Ultimate Exercise, I explain what it is, why it works, show you how to use it, share customer reviews, and do a demonstration from the audience. I bring people up, and then it has a personal trainer section with a drop-down menu that shows 30 different techniques that are specific to what a person might want to work on. And then the Don't Exercise Cellercise, it's informative, it's a collector's item. I was 30 years younger. It's a 30-year-old DVD. You can see how Cellercise has worked on me from where I began to where I am today. So it has a little nostalgia there, but it still has some good information. So it's just me. I think of it as a talking head. I'm standing in front of the camera like this, but talking all about Cellercise and demonstrating and explaining how it works. So. Good? Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. So yes, people are stronger after they've Cellercised. And I wish everybody could experience that. But again, I've had people the same results on this. And we've done side-by-side comparisons where they didn't have the strength and balance after getting off of their unit. Help it to work. And the tridaptable spring design is designed to give you enough resistance irrespective of whether you're 1 year old or over 100 years old. You'll utilize that portion of the spring. It's a larger diameter in the middle, then it has a tier where it tapers, and then another tier where it tapers, and so that tier helps to focus the weight toward the center of the spring, and then it stretches from there. So depending on how high you're jumping or how much you weigh, you utilize that portion of the spring you need based upon your particular situation. So, do you have any studies that link benefits of rebounding to fighting cancer? Dr. Morton Walker wrote an article in the Townsend Letter for Doctors back in 1995 about Sam Kopsky, who had a cancer that was expected to take his life. He rebounded, and with he was cancer-free, became the assistant dean, I believe, of a university. Great story. Excuse me. We've had a number of people he's right and feel comfortable about sharing those stories, if you are, with the rest of the Cellercise family. We get on a Cellerciser, and we want to improve our immune system. We get on the Cellerciser. By 10 to 15 times, and they'll stay there for up to 1 hour. We know that through Dr. Arthur C. Guyton's book, and you keep that going for about a minute, you're going to be huffing and puffing. The metabolic processes within your body are going to increase, and that's a vigorous activity, and you don't have to go that fast. And activate those white blood cells. so they can move throughout the circulatory system more effectively. And it's their job to seek out and destroy the viruses, germs, bacteria. Okay. Good. My father and father-in-law both ran when they were younger and now have knee issues from all. There are so many stories with knees, and knees they can be a challenge. I know I've had my own knee problems, and I've helped a great many sports and athletes who have had knee problems enjoy a much better quality of life, a quality of life they never know they. Professional athlete since the 70s, won numerous awards, listed among competing, depressed, and I said, well, Robert, what have you done to restructure and strengthen the supporting muscles and ligaments around the joint? He looked at me like, what? I said, well, we usually end up with knee problems, hip problems, back problems, and shoulder problems because of either weaknesses or injury in the supporting muscles and ligaments around the joints. When we target and so there are specific movements that I do teach on the Cellerciser for the knees, such as, always again, gently moving up and down so the tissue is would have a better experience in whatever event they're involved in if they would Cellercise first, because it doesn't stretch cold muscles, ligaments, or tendons. It warms them up gradually with all the tissue gently being massaged, which it does. So this one, couple minutes, then bending at the knee a little bit. We can work the front. These supporting muscles and ligaments. And as they get stronger, we can sit down a little further, go a little faster, and of course we've all seen the Jama run, which is intense. And then for the lateral knee, hop side to side. And as we're hopping side to side, we're working the hips, the thighs, Mr. Rebounder app, which Cellerciser at 350 pounds under warranty. We've had people 400. Strengthening the supporting muscles and ligaments around the joints first, because there's a lot of weight on them. And so we start off very similar to what I was just showing. Muscles and ligaments so that we can then move into the more aggressive movements. And if you know somebody that would like to give me a call, we've had experience. It was new this time last year, and many of you worked with us as we worked out the bugs. And it's, for most of you, you're having a good experience with it. And .com, and it will give you a little demonstration of what the Mr. Rebounder app is all about. But when you go into the app itself, seniors or create your own routine. So our family pretty much has been doing the advanced techniques, and you've got all these different exercises, but you can also create your own. That's what makes this different. It was a follow along that everybody was expected to, or one size fits all feet, because it doesn't. Some of you are in different positions, and we have to start off slower. So from the beat, you can go from there and expand beyond that. And as we learned recently from a customer review, when you start on Cellercise, don't go to the advanced sections. You do the most of is basically the weight loss. You can go through and we'll tell you all about the different movements, but if you hit the start button, it can load music. A television program. We turn on the TV, we're watching the show. Down, you look at the next movement, you start doing the next movement while you continue to watch the show. So we make it convenient, and it's fun at the same time. But right now, for a couple more days, we have the Mr. Rebounder app at a discount. When you get it, it's normally $89.95. It's discounted, been discounted for $49.95. Right now it's on sale for $30. So you get a whole year for $30, 30 different routines, and you can create your own. You can create all the different movements that you can draw from. So these are all the different movements. You pick a movement, and then you put the amount of time that you want to do that particular movement, and you've got complete control. You can clone any one of the pre-made routines. You can actually clone it, and let's go back to home. If you hit this button right here, it says clone template. You can copy a whole routine, and then you can go in and modify. And then you can save it under a different name and add it to your personal library. So it's got a lot of versatility to it. You've got, again, for those who are in the know, you know what I'm talking about. But when you're loading up, you've got your account information that you put in here. You've got the different, these are routine. You can literally paste your own little picture for the different workouts that you create. You've got a whole group of background images that you can pick, over 30 different images. All kinds of different beautiful pictures in there. So it's something fun, something to play with, but something that is very effective as we use it every day. Somebody asked me a question regarding the monitor. Did I read that question? Okay. What she's talking about is This is a brand new one. Monitor that you can attach. Count the amount of time that you've been on the Cellerciser. You can see it counting right now. It will count the number of it will also show you the intensity. It up and down, you still have an intensity meter, but it lowers the intensity. When you fit on any rebounder or any mini trampoline, it uses we filed a patent on an oscillator. Bounces, you just attach it right to the mat. And when we introduced it last month, there'd be a demand for it. We didn't know how much it would be. It's so simple to use. The neat thing is it comes packaged, shows you how to put it together. And then all you do is connect it. It's very flexible, so you can turn it all the way. What you do is turn it on and off. It's that simple. So you don't need any special electronic gadgetry. We're shipping them out next week. So I wrote manufacturer. I said, "Hi Dale, are we still on track for having units to ship out next?" Yes, we should be able to deliver units next week. Great, I'll let them know. So I have. So it's, I suggest if you're really interested in one, or even more than one, or we'll send them out next week. And if we run out again real quickly, then we'll just, that's all right. We'll just suggest if you want them, order them now. And next week, we'll start shipping them out. But for everybody on Facebook, how many do we have? We don't. We have enough people. I'm sure we can supply them. Okay.
How many, do you have any tips for muscle gains?
I eat food, of course, but your diet. And Charles Atlas type program, he built himself a massive body with no weightlifting at all. He didn't tear down to build up. He simply did resistance movements. He just held in place, did resistance movements. I like the movement so the ligaments and the tendons don't become. I'll do a 1, 2, 3, 4, down, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's working. Stomach muscles more, then that would be the sit and bounce one. Where if you're bending here and you're lifting up and you're doing your crunches or up and down. Like this, leveraging more weight in the waist and the hips, tightening the buttocks, kicking behind you. The ski movement, I mean, there's lots of ways of building up muscles doing in a different position, you leverage your body weight. So when I tilt, you can feel how tight the stomach muscles are. Now when you bounce, because you eliminate up to 7/8 of the ballistic impact or jar. Any others? Okay. Okay, they're currently sold out, but order now. I would like to say that I like to hear the soft squeak that my Cellerciser makes because it is a sound of progress to me. At one time, I couldn't bounce hard enough to make a noise. Looking at something with gratitude and a positive outlook. I love that. Thank you. Now, that being said, I want you to listen to my Cellerciser. There's no squeaking. If you want to get rid of the squeaking, you can. You just put I talk about it on my website under the care and maintenance. Polish that steel. It gets smoother and smoother, and the squeaking just fades away. Recovery. That's a great question. And the answer is no, you don't. Size. The body has to recover from being torn. It's a manipulation of the body. Nothing wrong. If you want to do that, great. But we've learned how to manipulate the body. That's what it is. When you tear down, they say do it every other day because the body literally has to repair itself. So you tear the tissue, the body repairs the tear with more. They're not natural muscles that way. They've been injured. Not to say you're not strong. Like I said, it's a manipulation of the body. We have bodybuilders that use the Cellerciser, and we know through Dr. Larry Getman's research that when they did their test, bodybuilders were going up to 20 station of their workout. Wade Lightheart won 3 national championships in bodybuilding incorporating Cellercise. He's a great proponent of the Cellerciser, a good friend. He's out there making a difference in the lives of your body recovers very quickly. You've challenged the body. It's just going to use nutrients, and you can challenge it again. So yeah, you can do it several times a day if you want. If you do get sore, when you first start off, you can, because you're working. Massive chest, and he didn't believe Cellercise was going to be effective at all to help build up the muscle mass. And he got on the Cellerciser when I was at the National Health Federation doing a presentation. He wouldn't get off, and I wasn't going to argue with him. He's a lot bigger than me. Hi. And everybody else was down below and looking at him like, do you believe this guy? Well, Kalahani gets on the Cellerciser, he starts to use it and wouldn't get off. I mean, he stayed on that thing all day long. And I would say, Kalani, show him how to work the stomach, the waist, the back. He'd do the movement. He calls me up on Tuesday, a couple days later, and said, David, what the heck is that thing? I train for a living. And tissue and fascia and muscles you haven't worked in years. And so he really appreciated that. Now for me, I can go 2.5 days and I can be jumping all day long and feel great, but I lose too much weight. And so that's, I stopped doing the shows primarily because I could lose 8 to 10 pounds in a weekend. Around and talking to people up and down, but anyway.
Can I lay on my back while bouncing with knees to chest, or does it cause too much pressure on the spine?
We've had people do it. I don't know what we're trying to accomplish by doing it, but there are people that have done that, and I've never done that. Like I said, there's people that get on their back and bounce up and down, and I've seen people do put their feet up on a wall and do kind of a handstand and bounce up and down on it too. I don't do any of that, but you know, there's creative ways to Cellercise and to enjoy it. So, any other? Okay, good. Watch work with rebounding. Well, it's going to register your heartbeat, and that's one of the reasons I created this monitor, is because it's not going to register effectively the steps, especially when you do the Jamba run. But hopefully we're looking at putting together a program that will incorporate, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. We're working on something that you might like down in the near future. But for now, we've got the monitor. Just got my Cellerciser today, and watching your ultimate deep and feels so much easier on my limbs versus an inexpensive Amazon one that's now placed in my garage that was so stiff. Yeah, be careful of those. I'm loving it so far, looking forward to seeing the results soon. When bouncing, should the knees always be slightly bent, or they can be locked at times? Yeah, they can be locked at times. You bet. You can lock the knees and bounce up and down. You don't have like on the health bounce, should I lock my knees or slightly bend? On the health bounce, lifting up and down with the heels, you work the calf muscle. The calf muscle has been called the second heart. So as you build up the calf muscle, those calf muscles pump, they create the pressure that helps to feed the circulation back up toward the heart. So we can reduce trapped blood proteins, edema, swelling, varicose veins, etc. So if we bend at the knee, then for thighs, especially in the knees, by bending in the knee as well. So they're accomplishing different purposes. That. Where do I focus the weight, on the balls of my feet or the heels, or does it matter when bouncing? That's a good question. Okay, so if you're doing the Jamba run, this is a great session. I go a little longer, I think, than normal, but it's a great way to start the year, and it's fun to be able to share this with you. Okay, if you're doing the Jamba run, you can get on the balls of your feet and lean forward and do this. It's easier. If you want it to be more effective, you want to work the bigger muscles of the body, You want to keep your feet flat, keep your back straight, and bounce. The thighs more effectively. So each one of the movements has a little different effect. So those are good questions. Doing the ski patrol, you're flat-footed because you're bouncing side to side. And our foot is more on the mat. So experiment with it and you'll feel how it works in different areas of the body. And it's interesting how these slight little changes really can make a big difference. For example, again, if you're doing the ski patrol, if you have back problems, don't start with that. Okay, there are techniques that I teach in the DVD, and I have throughout the course of these programs that address more approaches that are gentle for the back. That was it more advanced. Okay, so what oil types are you recommending for oiling whenever it's needed? Olive oil, avocado oil, or more like car oil types? Well, we've had people use essential oils. We've had people use vegetable oil. I use 3-in-1. You can pick it up at D-O-N-E, so 3-and-1. It's owned by WD-40. But it's a nice natural oil that you can control. It has a drip spout, so you can put it on both ends of each spring, and it's got a good viscosity, so you don't have to do it as often, and it's a penetrant that can help polish, multi-purpose oil that can help polish the steel so that it expecting, but that's great because I'm here to work for you. And when you have questions and it sends me down, it's a certain path, it's because that's what you need to hear. And that's why I'm here, is to help you. We all have a greater health potential. We should actively be engaged, proactively, and working toward reaching that greater potential. Today in our society, we've bought into, the majority of people bought into the idea that, well, let me put it a different way. If I draw a line down the middle of a piece of paper, and on the right-hand side of the line, we have health, and on the left-hand side of the line, we have illness. Most people in our culture today have bought into the idea or accepted the idea that health is simply an absence of illness. And they live right on the line. And they may enjoy, health until they get ill, and then they cross over the line, and now they're trying to take a drug or a shot or pill or some kind of treatment to get back to the line, and then they stop. I don't want our Cellercise family to be people that live on the line. I want us to move further to the right of the line, so that if we get sick, we bounce back faster. We enjoy a better quality of life, more energy, better performance. I keep going back to the gentleman, you've heard me mention him now several times. The gentleman called me several months ago now, and having woken up in the morning. And he said, Mr. Hall, I woke up feeling great this morning. I knew why. It's because of the Cellerciser. But 20 years ago, you introduced me to Cellercise, and it changed my life. I've watched my family, friends, and peers pass on, a lot of them on drugs, medications, poor quality of health. He said, I am still enjoying life. I am still very active. 20 years ago, when I began, I was in my 70s. You know people that have knee problems, hip problems, back problems, shoulder problems, digestion, elimination problems, weight loss issues, stress disorders. Share the Cellercise with them and let them experience it. And feel free, if there's any questions that I can help you with, give me a call. Let's continue this movement. Let's get it out to the public. I think everybody needs Cellercise. I don't think it's an option, especially living in the environment we live in today. And when you look at sticky blood cells, before and after pictures, after you've been on a Cellerciser, I realize that everybody needs Cellercise. They just don't know it yet. And it's our job to be able to share it with them. Thank you so much. Have a great week. We'll meet again in 2 weeks. And then in 2 weeks, let's have our Cellercisers out. Let's go through a routine together. And in the meantime, our prayers, literally, they'll be with those who are struggling right now with the COVID. And